You're about to watch a clip from the Videomaker podcast. To watch or listen to the full episode, click the link in the description. So that brings us to the last one of the list, which is the orbit shot, or the arc shot is another term for this. I feel like this has been around for a long time now. Everyone's doing it because drones do it so easily. But, you know, I always think of this shot. Obviously, this orbit shot is the idea where the camera moves around 360 degrees around a subject and keeps a subject in place. Michael Bay used this all the time. If you ever watch Bad Boys, the camera is always orbiting, and it's orbit shot after orbit shot. And personally, it kind of makes me dizzy watching it. But
I think of the fight scene in Fight Club in the basement. And now that's really interesting because they're like actually they're cutting back and forth from different perspectives while also doing an orbit. So they had to make sure that, you know, if they're in one place, the dolly wasn't viewable. And so they actually had someone picking up the track behind them and then laying it down once they were back out of the scene and everything, which is, I mean, really probably the smartest and easiest way to do it if you're not doing something super fast and you're able to do that. But you know, the orbit shot is super, super impactful and real high end. This is another one that you wouldn't be perfect orbit if you're on a handheld gimbal, but is a great way to, you know, show somebody off. It does a lot of, you know, it does a reveal of, you know, different sides of a subject or whatever. If you're doing a statue, it would reveal who the statue's of or whatever you're moving around, you're able to do that. Same kind of feel as that pan up from the feet or pan down or whatnot.
Yeah.
Tilt. I just used it wrong. Man, listen to us. We know what we're talking about, people.
that's what happens when you go off script, you know.
Yeah.
It's all improvised, right?
Yeah, totally. But the orbits, you know, they're really super easy with drones. I mean, like this was one of the real high-end drone moves. I remember when maybe the Phantom 3 and the era around that, maybe 90 or 15 maybe or so, that orbit was kind of difficult and most drones weren't doing it. And now it's like every one of them does it and then they do it in their own way. So, you know, there's like they have ones where it orbits and it goes up in elevation. So that's more of the arc. Well, they have a different name for that. Like
it orbits and changes elevation. Boy, that's like a corkscrew or something.
Yeah. Well, they call it's like a shooting star is what they call it. It's like you could do like you threw it and then the POV of the camera is this thing goes away from you. But they also have one where it's like small world. So it does makes you into a little globe as you go away. And so it plays with not only like your field of view, but also the camera movement. And because the drone's doing it, it's very precise. So they're very, unless you're in like real heavy wind, you're going to get a really spot on. And that's really the thing about any good camera movement. If it's solid, it's high value. And so that's the thing. Don't have shakes in your camera movement. Get rid of all that. Practice your tilts, your pans, your zooms, all that stuff as smooth as it possibly can.
Unless you're going for the shake.
Yeah, well, unless you're shooting handheld or shooting, you know, what's the movie about the spy guy that went rogue and man, that's like every spy movie.
Yeah.
My God.
The spy guy that went rogue.
Matt Damon.
Born
Identity. Yeah. Like so much handheld. And that's like handheld going from fight scene, going into a car and doing that kind of stuff. And that's only stuff you could do through either handing it off or those kinds of things. And I mean, I love seeing the behind the scenes of those choreographers because it's like as close as like filmmaking gets to ballet. Is like it's beautiful just to watch like, oh wow, look at that. They put that wall there. So while they handed it off, you don't see the next set of hands so that they can block it for a second, but it like helped with the energy of everything. And you'd never even think of it. You know, some of the most impressive things are like just cuts at the right time to make it seem like the movement hasn't stopped, you know?
Yeah.